Hey everybody, welcome to YOLO with ToLo episode, I cannot believe, 39. So let me add Lonnell on. And today's topic is a very interesting one that has come up a lot in conversations lately. And because spring is right around the corner, we're going to talk about divine timing. Let me add Lonnell on real quick. Add. Let's see what happens. But Kevin is our producer today. Hey Kevin from San Jose. And let's see where we're at. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, audio's good.
What is that? We got to initiate it 3 times to get it right? What is okay, Facebook, whatever. I'm just grateful that we can hear one another.
I know, and I'm grateful to see you and see y'all down there here. If you're here, let us know in your comments where you're at. Where are you at?
I am in chilly Chicago.
Is it snowing there?
No. Actually, it looks like it's turning to rain.
Oh.
I would turn the camera over, but then if I turn it back, it becomes a mess. But no, it was snow on the ground when I landed this morning. So I think it snowed this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my flight was delayed like 3 hours. But by the time I got here, it had stopped snowing, but there was snow all over the ground.
Okay, well, cheers. It is snowing in New York today. I'm in Brooklyn in the house.
Brooklyn, the BK, my old neighborhood.
I love Brooklyn.
I adore Brooklyn. I just love New York, period. So sometimes it makes me miss living there.
Yeah, it's sort of like my second home. Hey, LT. Hey, Tony. Yeah, Kevin's producing it, and I can't believe that it is episode 39, almost 40.
Wow, who's this? who's almost 40?
No, I said this is almost 40th episode.
Oh, the episode. I thought you were talking about somebody being 40 years old.
No.
Okay, yeah. Now I got it.
This is 40 episodes old, and I just feel so lucky that every day I have an accountability partner in you and Kevin or Denise that's producing on the other side. And we had such some interesting conversations, and I always learn so much. And one thing I love so much is that not only do we share our wisdom, but you at home, you're teaching us things, and we're sharing wisdom too. So I'm excited about chatting with you. Right? Okay, let's talk about episode segment 1, YOLO's hot topics. I brought these all the way from California. You make fun of these.
It just cracks me up that you still have them, and they're like in such good condition. If I still had them, they'd be all wrinkly and messed up.
You know why? Because I have a folder.
Hey, Cheryl, Himmerly, Paige.
I keep it in my folder.
LD, a giant. I keep your government name keeps throwing me off. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. Hey, Auntie Pat from California. Okay, so today we're talking about divine timing, things that are supposed to happen personally, professionally, and spiritually.
Right. So, just before we go, because I already see the questions coming in here about Jussie, which I said I wasn't going to talk about. So,
we're not going to
listen, y'all. I know everybody's talking about the whole Jussie Smollett thing, but this wasn't in our pre-notes. But all I'm going to say is, I am not going to wade into that cesspool of brokenness. Mm-hmm. So now moving right on to the next. I'm just not because it's not how it's just like people are just whatever side they're on, they're just like leeches on this whole thing. And it's totally unproductive and not doable.
Look, just LT said Jussie and go. You said our topics. Okay. So I'm gonna play along right quick. Okay?
Yeah, so that is like the hottest thing that's going on.
Okay, so let's bring it. Okay, Pink. Tony, I know you like my pink post-it note. Thank you. Because you know style. Okay.
So, I mean, I really don't like the way that people have just been so divisive, so judgmental. So it's like karma doesn't affect them. So it's like this one individual. Because you have to ask yourself, what I ask is like, what is the greater picture? Why is this particular individual, why was he given this opportunity that all these thirsty people on social media would love to be a very famous, paid out person who had issues long before he was on Empire, but y'all ain't heard that from me because y'all don't know me like that. So anyway.
So Tony's like, thank you, please don't talk about Jussie.
So I'm just gonna say,
for your opinion.
But yeah, it's a cesspool of brokenness, and it's just much bigger than all that. So can we just move on to next?
I want to talk about this zoomed out, because zoomed in, I don't know, and I don't like talking about stuff that I have either not paid attention to or don't want to pay attention to yet. But this is what I have to say, and Kevin holds me accountable for this, producer. So always no matter what side you're on, it could be about divisive as what's happening in politics in our country now. You could be red or blue or purple or whatever the hell, right? Or with this certain topic with Jussie, whether he planned this attack or not, or whatever the heck, right? You don't know till the cookie crumbles and the evidence comes out, right? And always fact check everything. There's people go to snoops.com. You can go to other reputable places to check before you share. And Kevin has really gotten on me about that, because why are all those little hearts and the like and the mad symbol? Because these tech companies want to get you to just be like, rah. And I think that's an issue, because what we got to really do is come about it. I wouldn't even say with the word compassion, because that's not really even the right word, but just go about it this way of saying, interesting. Let's see how it plays out. Let's do our own research so that you can have your own educated opinion and guess. And
why are we all experiencing this to begin with? I mean, it's so much bigger than the one particular incident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, where's the growth? Where's the, so why are we all being drawn collectively to this fiasco? Okay.
Yeah.
whether it be like the whole political situation with Trump, whether it be this thing with Jussie, like, what is the big picture?
Yeah.
And how are we moving towards healing?
Yeah.
Because this crap that we're going through, the I told you so team, this side, and then team Jussie, like, I won't be guilty until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Or innocent until proved whatever. So whatever, all of that, like, what is the big picture? What is the end goal? You want to be right? I don't get. I mean, so I don't get, like. But for me, I have to search into see why are we even being drawn to this collective experience?
Yeah.
Because it's clearly a spiritual opportunity. But the same karma that's potentially serving him is the same karma that serves you, and the same karma that serves me. So I have to be careful how I interact with it as well.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? What's also interesting is that you and I have talked about building up your spiritual firewall before in a previous episode. And you and I have both been in the position to be out there in the public eye, and whether it's on social media or in person. And there's people looking at us for opinions and or, advice or role models or whatever. We look up to other people. But when you are on the side of being gawked at or looked at, or social media could be attacking you, I go back to my girl Adele that I love so much. But she always has said, you know what? When I read the negative stuff, I don't believe them and I don't let it get to me, because they don't know me. And on the flip side, she also, but if you're going to throw that out there, you also have to flip the switch, flip the coin, whatever, and say, you know what? The good stuff they're saying too, you don't know that, they don't know you either. You can't be all like big-headed.
You can't buy, because listen, when somebody builds you up, and people will build, and Jussie Smollett is a perfect example of this. People will build you up. You get this opportunity. They're all rooting for you. They'll be the same people that are like tearing this man apart on social media right now. The same people that on the red carpet asking him for selfies.
Yes.
So
exactly.
It's like the ultimate attention grab. It really has nothing to do, or very little to do, with him.
Yeah.
More so than my need for attention.
Yes.
So
preach it,
like,
brother.
I'm just saying, it's like you have to be really honest with yourself at how you participate, why you are participating, and what is your intention in participating. Again, like I said earlier, are you just trying to be right? And whatever side of the equation you fall on, or are you just trying to get some attention?
Preach.
I like what Giant just said. He said, believe all of it or believe none of it.
I saw this.
So
yes.
Yeah, you can't, and that's very true. He's very true with that, because you have to take the whole picture. But when you say believe all of it, you got to have all of the information.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. You got to.
Okay.
I hear him though say commit. You got to commit. Commit.
Yeah.
Either you're in or you're out. But at the end of the day, again, what is your end game?
Yeah.
With participating in all of this foolishness.
Yeah.
So
and I'm gonna date us, because I know you know this jingle, and if you don't, you're a millennial, and we're old. But you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. There you have that. Sing it.
Ciao.
The what?
Actually, she and I had one of my friends was on that show, and she and I recently had a conversation. That's the theme from the Facts of Life.
Okay.
People.
Some people are like,
show
what?
If you don't know it.
Yeah.
What? We were just having a private conversation just the other day about this whole mess. So it's just interesting to see, you know, where people are. But I just say, set your intention. What are you trying to gain, and what is your participation doing to facilitate healing?
Oh.
So yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, whatever your opinion is,
however
however you are embarking on this.
Yes.
But just be honest. All right, if you're just really trying to get attention, or you're just really trying to be right, that's all rooted in ego.
Yeah.
Just own it.
Oh,
but don't pretend like, you know, like suddenly, you know, you were right all along, or you know, you're standing by this person because this person's poop doesn't stink or yours doesn't stink. No, it's all shitty and it all stinks.
Yeah.
So just be real, just be honest with why you are participating and why you are engaging the way that you engage. That's all.
That's so good. Thank you. Amen. Yeah, there's a lesson to be learned from all of this. And you know what's funny though? This is what was interesting, y'all. Before our calls, we always do a quick check-in and kind of go over like some show notes. And you and I were just like, we don't want to talk about Jussie Smollett, right? So anyway, so
the giant was like, no, if I'm tuning in, you're gonna talk about Jussie.
Basically, I know. LT's like, see, I like this. I knew you had gems. Anyway, so we'll get to more of this Jussie Smollett talk later, maybe in another episode when more facts come out. Okay, but let's move on to episode 2.
Yeah. Can we get some facts? Okay, so yeah. Okay, right. Dump the hump. Dump this Jussie hump.
Exactly. So dumping the hump. Okay, so this is where we talk about how to get through our conversations and the challenges that we've been going through, maybe a midweek slump, midlife crisis, whatever the heck. So just like I said earlier, this show is about divine timing and how we're talking about how spring is just around the corner. And one gem, since LT was talking about gems, that was dropped on me, some wisdom from a spiritual friend named Terry, said that she had a really good friend who was kind of like end of life illness, and he just had the most wise things to say, and he had this moment of clarity where he said, you know, we all think we're so powerful, and we are to a certain extent, but just like a flower, like you're planting a seed of a flower, a tulip or whatever, and say, grow. You can give it sunlight, you can give it whatever, you know, whatever love, you could talk to it, you can give it sunlight, and sometimes you just can't make it grow. You know why? Because, you know, the divine timing of things happen as they should. And in terms of personal and professional, let's break it down: personal, professional, spiritual, right? Spiritually, let's talk a little bit about you know, how this has kind of affected our life and any sort of gems that we have around this. So personally, even like this is episode 39, and we met more than 39 weeks ago because we had a couple shows where we were traveling and we didn't do shows. But think about how we met. And just a refresher for those of you guys just joining us, it's crazy because Lonnell, who lives in Atlanta, me who lives in San Francisco, I just happened to be in LA for a production shoot for my podcast, and a good friend of mine was like, you gotta meet Laura. Gary was like, you gotta meet Laura. She's amazing. Spiritually, you guys will connect, blah, blah, blah. And I was done with my shoot. I was getting on I-5 to drive back up to San Francisco, gonna just pick up something real quick on the road and go back home. And then she was like, Gary was like, you got to meet Laura. She's here, and you know she's busy, blah blah blah. And you're busy, so since you're here, I was like, okay, I gotta eat anyway. So I turned around, went to some random new restaurant in some new part of town that not a lot of people know about, and we're talking. 2 hours passed, and then we start talking about spiritual and soul connections. And it's getting really good, like literally soul food. And then she was just about to say your name. You remind me of like, and then energy's like, and then you pop up.
Then I walk in.
Yeah, you walk in.
And literally, I wasn't supposed to be at that restaurant that day either. Well, I was supposed to be there because I was there. But my friend Fiona, who lived in that neighborhood, said, you know, we need to go try, you do want to try this new place, because we always have the same 2 places that we go to in our neighborhood. And I was like, sure, well, okay, we'll try something else new today. And then boom, then we walk in literally and met you guys. But yeah, personally, those things they arise, and you just got to pay attention. Like with anything in your life, you just really got to pay attention and appreciate those moments, because the more you tune into that vibration or that energy, the more you'll draw those things towards you. So those kind of fun, exciting, personal.
Yeah,
And
right.
professionally as well. Work professionally with your jobs. I mean, I've had different jobs or different experiences. You know, my whole thing, like with this whole thing with the Obamas and manifesting the Obamas and manifesting Oprah and all that stuff, you know, started like with the, you know, like for vision boarding for me was kind of the initial path. But though all of these things are possible, and you can bring them into your existence and into your life just by believing that you can. So,
And I want to add to that too is I feel like there are
hey, Jim.
like a flower grows, you and the elements that you need to you know, from the seed to the water to the energy and the timing and everything has to be right. um, I want to piggyback off of what you just said. Yes, you have to set that intention out there, and I believe that it's the amount of energy you put out and the belief that you had, because you can't just kind of believe it, because kind of believing is being like kind of being like kind of pregnant. You can't be kind of pregnant. You either are or you aren't. Because some people are always like, you know, I believe, but then all their actions don't lead to believing, or their, you know, their energy doesn't.
And what is believing mean? Are you believing like in a religious sense where you were conditioned and your belief is rooted in guilt? And that's not every religious experience, but I'm just saying some. I'm just using that as an example. But you have to really understand what believing means, and that really means kind of, you know, just really surrendering. So whether you've got, it should be a compliment to whatever your path, whatever your religious or spiritual path is. You gotta release, but you gotta believe. If you can believe it, you can achieve it, you can attain it. I'm like, my whole adult life, I should say, has really been a testament to that very principle.
But what you also have done, though, is like, let me be clear to people that are watching, is that you also took the action. And while you can't take the action to be like, I'm gonna go knock on Michelle Obama's door to meet her, or Oprah's door to meet her, but what you did do is you put a vision board out there, you put that action of energy out there. Or if, you know, like I look back at my career too, right? And I was like, how is a boy like me who has no pedigree, parents don't want me to be, my parents wanted me to be doctor, lawyer, engineer. Yeah, I love saying that because that's really what they say in their, my mom would say in her cute Chinese accent, but Chinglish accent. But, you know, I wanted me to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. I'm like, I have no pedigree or no connections at
You
all.
didn't say it right. You didn't say doctor, lawyer, engineer like your
doctor, lawyer, engineer, and I say that with love. But I get it. I get that, you know, in her immigrant mind and you know, and her experiences, going into sciences and math is money for her. She didn't know writers. She didn't know poetry. That wasn't the world that she was in. You know, storytelling. That wasn't really the world. So I get that she was trying to protect me, and I, you know, I accept that. But I know that I, in my heart, really wanted to use my words to inspire people to, now I know, to discover and use their power to help other people. And I do it through motivational speaking. I always wanted to be a TV reporter, made it all with San Francisco, co-hosted a show on PBS, taught at 2 universities. And we've talked about this in the past, it's the how is not up to us. Obviously, we can send out resume tapes or try to go to networking events or whatever, but everything sort of happened the time that it should and the flow that it did. Right. And we have also talked about the third step is surrender.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, because you're taught to follow a certain path, but yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
So are we going into talk with ToLo?
Almost, but we have just a little bit more time. Tao says conditioning and religious guilt. Talk about a can of worms. That's a whole nother show. You know,
that's a whole other show.
Okay, and
but I like says,
yeah, but
what LT? But Giant says, what do you do when you run empty? I'm almost 40, and I could use some rejuvenation in this area. Well, one, you got to change the mindset that you're running out of time.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's like 40 is not the end. It's still the beginning of the next chapter.
40 is the new 20, baby. I mean, look at you and me.
Giant. Well, I call him Giant, but LT Dinwiddle is he was actually the friend of mine that got a tweet from Oprah first.
Okay.
And I was so excited for him when he got that tweet. You would have thought I won the lottery. And that was like when she first got on Twitter. He was like the first person that I knew that actually got a tweet from her. But so yeah, I would just, you know, you got to not look at it like 40 is the end, because it's just the beginning of you got a new day, a new opportunity. So you just got to be mindful of how you're expending your energy. And how is it being reciprocated? Because if you're putting out stuff that's draining you and it's not being replenished, then you got to put something else out there.
Yeah. Amen.
You just got to put something else out there.
That's so good. Okay, so LT also
no,
says,
not time, not well, he said no, not time, energy.
Yeah, and he says when you're young, it's all magic. As I get older.
Oh, you think it's all magic?
Okay, hold up. He says, as I get older, I feel more and more mortal. Life gets harder. It felt so much easier when I was 20. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because when you're younger, I think when you're younger, when kids, I love kids and elders because they're closer to spirit world. They're entering or about to exit. So that's when you're the most pure. And you're like, we're learned and taught all these things about like, certain age, you gotta, get married, have kids, do this, do that, whatever. And you don't follow that flow anymore. We've talked about, if you look at these previous episodes that have been recorded, we've talked about all this stuff, the flow and the magic and everything. And look, you know what? Let me tell you what. Is chronologically, my age is 41. Chronologically, you're
50, child.
50. And it's not just black don't crack and Asian don't raisin, but it's I so believe in that magic still, and I also believe that everything that didn't happen wasn't supposed to happen because it's guided me to this next place or this other dimension, and I was just talking to a friend about this, how, the TV network, there was a network that wanted to hire me back in the day. They called me twice, and, I didn't want to be a correspondent. I didn't want to like fly everywhere and be all over the place. Just started this new relationship, just started my nonprofit. And I really listened to that. And when you get clear and you listen to that, things open up. And I think, LT, what has really helped me is finding your tribe. And that's what we're doing here, and that's right. What you and I
do. What do you want? I mean, John, you got to be specific with the universe or whatever you want.
Very specific.
What do you want? What do you actually want? And then you need to be real with yourself with why you want it. Do you want this because this is what society says I should have by this particular age? Are you seeking? Is it a material thing? Is it a fulfillment thing in your heart, a holistic thing? See, so now he said I have no idea these days. So that's good because at least you know
he said, I have
what
no
you
tribe.
don't want.
I have no tribe.
Because that's not. Oh, he has no. I'm sorry, he has no tribe these days. I'm sorry, chap. Put on your glasses.
We're here to remind you.
No, I have no tribe. Okay. Yeah, right. So now it's a great time to start building your tribe one at a time. Because you only need one. You only need one person that really just believes in you and has your back. So, and then you can, then you can build from that. But your tribe is there.
Yeah.
So as long as you start shifting your mindset of the type of people that you deserve in your life, or that you see yourself affiliated with in your life, and you change your mindset, they will gradually. They'll gradually appear.
Yeah.
And the riffraff will drop off, and you won't even have to get rid of them.
Hey, I hear you. Brother.
They'll rid themselves.
Okay, so let's jump on to segment 3. This is my favorite.
He said, everything I wanted to do, I've done. I think there's more you got to do. Okay, go ahead, segment 3. I'm sorry.
Keep it real. You're like, seriously.
Then you need to, because he said, seriously, every check has been marked. Now I'm more bored. Well, you need to create some imagination, create some challenge for yourself, because I'm sure you're not even 40 yet. You have many unwritten chapters, so you got to figure that out. So you have to challenge yourself.
And you have to change that mindset.
Maybe
change your mindset.
Like, it might even be time to change your career field. I don't know.
Change your mindset.
Some new boxes.
I'm done, but instead of saying, "Oh, I'm done," flip that switch and say, change that perspective and say, you know what? I feel like I have so much more that I could, in me that I could use to serve, but I need some direction, So, okay. So we got to move on to segment 3. Segment 3 is Talk to ToLo. And we got some good questions here about people and God, people asking about God's time. Huh?
I'm killing my little kangaroo from Australia. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go with the questions. My little sweatshirt's peeling.
Okay, so Fiona, hi girl, what's up? Fiona
from the UK.
We're playing here in Brooklyn together. What's up? And she's from England. I'm doing her Yorkshire accent. I'm really bad. But anyway, she goes, what are your favorite belief quotes? I think
Oh,
yours is
believe.
Hustle, Believe, Receive, isn't it? Isn't that one of your favorites?
That's the book that I'm in, Hustle, Believe, Receive. Well, actually, one of my favorite, it's a recent, in recent years, but the quote that I live by now is, no is a complete sentence. And that has just changed. that just changed everything for me, because I was always trying to be liked, or, not to be so difficult. I don't want to be perceived as difficult. I still want the people to like me. So it might take me a little longer to get to know, but I'm like, just save yourself the aggravation, dude. No.
Yeah.
And you don't owe anybody an explanation. If you don't want to do something, no.
Yeah.
I have children. These children, I don't know, they did that, just for an example. I have two particular people in my life that ask me about cash apping them some money, whether it be for train fare or lunch money. Like every other day is some crisis. And I'm just like, no. Find another way. So it's like, child,
that's so good. You know what's funny is that this is so funny that we're talking about this, because today I was with someone who does, she does makeup for celebrities. Like, she's traveled with Beyonce and Mariah Carey and like Susan Sarandon and all these people. And we were just talking about like putting up boundaries and how we need boundaries. And I actually was talking about a Oprah and Maya Angelou conversation that they were having once about. Maya was just like, Oprah was like, oh yeah, I had a disease to please, and I would say yes to all these events, and when I would say no, I would feel bad, and then I would also feel that, what are they going to say about me? And all this stuff happens, and basically you summed it up. No is a complete sentence, is basically, that's what she said. She was like, no, period.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot better at doing that as well.
Very liberating, Cheryl. It's very liberating.
Yeah.
Cheryl said, no, it's very liberating. Yes,
I agree.
Man,
no,
it is.
No.
Not no, but, or I'm sorry, but, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And when I've been in the position, this is the thing. When I've been in the position in the past to, like there's been a friend that had asked me to borrow some money. I knew that she was going through a hard time with school and everything. And I was in the position to be like, okay. And I said, you know what? I have this money that I can loan you. And I want to, because you're furthering your career and you're helping the future, kids. And so I said, you know what? Here's the money. You asked for a loan, but I'm giving it to you, because I don't want this, because I want to, and I don't want this to get in our friendship, And I was like, if you want to feel like paying me back or pay it forward, that's fine, whatever. But just know that this is blessed money, and that was it. And then there's times when, and that was a good chunk of money, a decent chunk. But then there's another time where somebody wanted to borrow just, a really small amount of money. And I was like, no. And I just said, really have.
But it's right.
No
it's your
problem.
Money. It's your heart. When you are in the space where you want to do the giving, that's fine. But don't cash at me asking you to refill your MARTA card.
Yeah.
And you got a job. I couldn't even say get a job. I'm like, what do you just get off of my phone asking for money? No. Like Giant says, I'll blurt out a no and not give a you-know-what. Zero you-know-whats to give.
But it's, that takes wisdom and experience, and Definitely. Groundedness. So, amen to that. So, I think, oh gosh.
What's your quote? You can tell me your quote.
Oh gosh, there's so many, but let me tell you about an interesting experience once that I had. And I stuck to my guns, and I quit my reporting job, TV reporting gig, because one of the higher-ups said I couldn't go to the funeral. This is a close family friend, and I was like, "You're gonna tell me I can't go to a funeral?" And there's budget reasons. And I told, this senior reporter, and she was like, "You know what? I will work for you, and they don't even have to pay me. We'll just switch, and they don't even have to pay me. I'll just cover your shift. They don't have to pay any of us, And he still said no, and I was like, "Bye, Felicia." I gave them time. I was like, I said it in a respectful way. And I said, I'll stay here till you find somebody, but I can't work for somebody I don't respect anymore, right? So then I left, and I was I was just doing some part-time work, grading standardized tests, random, for the state of California, for a company.
Very random.
California. I know, it was random. But anyway, because I love to read and write, and I was like, let me read and write some, I don't know, use those skills. So the crazy thing was, I got in a really stressed out mode, a lot of family stuff. I had 4 ill family members. That's, you know, and some 4 deaths in 13 months. And it was just like a really crazy time. And I just felt this really panic once. And I just started, started talking like this. I just started talking, and I don't know what I knew that I needed to stop because my mouth was moving and it wasn't me. And so what I stopped and started paying attention to what my words that were coming out of my mouth. And it said, trust in the Lord, he shall provide. Trust in the Lord, he shall provide. Trust in the Lord, he shall provide. And that is really one of my favorite quotes. And I believe that there's something bigger than us, and that we got to trust that it is guiding us, and the universe, God, is guiding us because it has the best interest for us. So that's my favorite.
I definitely agree with that. And sometimes you might have to give something a second chance. Quickly, I'll just tell you about my weekend. I went to this church in Atlanta called New Birth. And for people that are in Atlanta, they know there was this pastor, Eddie Long. It was a whole big, huge scandal. The last time I went to that church was like 15 years ago. And so I was traumatized because I was like, this subterfuge. I mean, and this is like the last place you'll find God. And then this, you know, and then the preachers espousing all this homophobic rhetoric. And then later, you know, of course, this scandal comes out. He's got boys in apartments. It's just a mess. It was a mess. But anyway, I went back to that church this week, and that minister actually passed away. They had an interim minister. They got a new guy, a guy that I actually sat next to and met at a Oprah event in New York like 2 years ago. And I always told him I wanted to go hear and speak. And I got a chance to do that this particular weekend. And not only that, my other friend, Devon Franklin, was actually in town. He was actually speaking at the church.
Oh, I like Devon.
Divine timing, because
I love him
there. And but I went back to the church, and it was just absolutely amazing. It was a totally different experience than what I'd had in that same sanctuary, you know, many years prior. So I would have never ever have given that church another chance after my first experience there. But I did, and it worked out.
So I love that.
Sometimes you might have to give something a second chance.
Okay. And
I'm sorry, I just had to share my new birth
Thank
experience.
You for sharing that. And you know, Devon, that was a really good message. Thank you. I'm receiving that. You know, and Devon, I love following his Instagram because he says his prayers for all of us, and it always is. I feel like it's on point, and it's like exactly what I need. Okay, so segment 4, digital detox. We should have a
digital detox. I'm getting better. I'm getting so much better. But go ahead.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit. How? What do you mean getting better? As we said that, by the way, we have very limited time too, because not only is Kevin going to be like, your time's up, but I have set my Facebook social media thing to after 2 hours it cuts off. So I haven't undone this, but there's little things that I've been doing, like I've said in the last few episodes, and I've really been sticking with it, and proud because I really feel like less anxious. When I'm on the computer too much, when I'm on any screen or phone, social media, writing a paper, writing a book, my book, I like literally, like my body viscerally feels like I need to get up because I'm just feeling really antsy. And so I really pay attention and listen to that. And you know, this is such an epidemic because yesterday Fiona and I were in the Soho area gallivanting, you know, window shopping, just people watching. And it seemed like a handful of people just gravitated towards us at different boutiques and stores. And we're just talking about social media and screen time and how we're passing on, you know, this to the next generation and how they won't know what it's like to even go out and play. And it's such a big epidemic. But I challenge people at home, and you and I have done this, and here are my 3 really quickly. So the 3 things that I've been doing is I set this 2-hour thing, time limit here. I don't always follow it, but it makes me mindful. Sometimes I go over a little bit. So I set on my iPhone a timer for only 2 hours of social media a day. That's one thing. Another thing that I do social media wise is especially when I'm on my rhythm and on a schedule at home and I'm not traveling, I check it morning once, afternoon, and evening once. And I try to limit the scrolling because that's just a rabbit hole, and then like 2 hours is wasted and I could be reading a book or writing. Okay. And then the third thing is something that I've been just mindful of, habits of picking up my phone. I leave my phone in another room when I go to sleep. And that means it's not next to me. I can't pick it up. So if I'm writing my gratitude journal at night, or I'm writing something or reading a book, I'm not like obsessed with this weird action. And what I got to eat today, I was eating at, if y'all have not eaten, there's a Restoration Hardware here in New York that has the best view and an amazing restaurant. Yes, Restoration Hardware in the Flatiron District. Bomb.
I gotta
Anyway,
go there next year.
super fabulous. Went there, ate. A lot of people are on their phones, and I was like, you know what? The phone, I had to check twice really quickly just because I am doing a speaking gig here. That's why I'm in New York on Friday, so I had to do some business. But I stepped away, did it real quick. But this is the thing. Put the phone upside down or put it in your bag, put it in your jacket. Anyway, that's the three things. What are your three things?
I've been a lot better with just making myself mindful. And I even actually, I turned off notifications minus two things I have notifications on. That's a huge help. But I also turned on that thing on the iPhone where it detects if you're driving.
Oh.
And I have found myself, because in Georgia technically it's against the law to have the phone in your hand anyway. But I don't even have the urge, if you get a vibration or whatever, you still kind of want to look on the watch and see what is this, what is this notification? So by having that automatically turn on, I don't think about it because it just detects me moving.
You got to teach me how to do that.
It just mutes the notifications.
Okay.
And then if somebody texts you, it will say something like, it'll tell them that you're driving right now.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm like, I've really noticed that I don't even miss the phone.
I like that.
When when I'm in motion, even if I'm not driving, it'll turn on. You can still.
Oh, I gotta do that. Okay,
I'm learning. Okay. But yeah, it's right on the iPhone. So that's been a huge thing. Hello, Lazar from Detroit. And I miss you too, Dwight. I really did enjoy church Sunday. I really, really did.
Okay, what are your other two?
My other two. So the turning off notifications is a big one. Reading a physical book.
I love that.
So that is what I've been doing. That's been the main thing for me now. So okay, if I can at least get through a chapter of the book a day, I know that's probably killed an hour of time that I probably would be scrolling because it will be idle time in between something. So reading is another big one. And what in the hell am I eating? Sorry. Reading, turning off my notifications, and what else do I do? What else have I really been doing that's made a difference? Just really kind of monitoring my screen time because I really try to go